terrified. No, no, no. I really think it's really important to be in the plurality, you know, like we are different, we see the world different, and that's the moment that we encounter our voice, so it's not against you. So I just want to say that I feel frustrated to listen to you, because I feel like you represent for me the old world, because you keep holding a theory of oppressed and oppressor, and like there is like a way to do things, like we know the answers and we go do it, and we empower people and we encourage people, and we do these two people, although it's for the people, but it's two people, not we the people, and listening to you and listening to you and listening to you, and even to you it was frustrating sometimes. It's like we people. I hear you saying we, not two, and we are not objects. We have voices, and each voice is different. And yes, I believe in actions, but I believe that it comes from the people and from the voices. And yes, we need to deal with the really, really frustrating situations and really underprivileged like communities. And yeah, it's not like so white and peaceful and democratic and beautiful like this conference. And I love this conference because it gives me lots of hope to go back to where I work now and be with the people and listen what people in the place I'm at now tell me, because you keep going back to indigenous voices. No, what is indigenous anyhow? All of us indigenous on this earth. There is no claim of indigenous in one place. There is no such thing. It's fake. It's fake. We are all indigenous. These borders of thank you for opening your hands now. It's like we are indigenous here. We are all together human beings. And yes, now I live in Vancouver, Canada. I was born in Israel. I lived in different places, and I'm indigenous in this world, everywhere.
I feel like that was a very powerful statement. My question was, I was thinking of it before, so I don't. But what I'm thinking about is, I would like to hear Mr. Mishra talk about his research, and I think there's some. It may take the conversation in a very different direction, but I think his research is so important, and I'm sorry that we're not hearing about it. And I would like, if you wouldn't mind sharing a little bit about it, and maybe we could think about the implications of that research as we're talking about these questions.
And also I want to give a chance to respond to what was just offered, and I think I would also pose the question that you posed at the beginning to see your answer to that as well, so how we can incorporate all that as well.
Can I request that we just take one breath in?
Yes.
This is happening really fast, this transition.
Yes.
So can we just have one breath so we can hear you?
Three breaths.
3 breaths. Thank you.
Sorry for waking you up. Sorry.
Actually, what I'm going to say is not disconnected with what you're saying. It is to address that issue. So, I mean, what you heard from her just now is was a sentimental expression of something that has quantified for you. There are 7 billion of us, of whom about 4 have children. So there are, let's say approximately, about 4 billion parents. Out of them, now I'm just making a proposition, you're free to agree or disagree. Out of them, over 90% want what the parents in Jackson, sorry, don't want. They want their children to be trained properly so that they can get a job. If the school has to teach multiplication tables in order to do that, then they better teach multiplication tables. And if the child doesn't learn those multiplication tables, beat the hell out of him. 90% of the 4 billion parents believe this. So what's this room going to do in the middle of that? Change what? So I started working on that issue because it was very frustrating. You go into a slum and you talk to the parents and say, I will engage your child in a creative dialogue of creativity, and the parents says, get out of here. Okay, she doesn't understand a word of what they say. You go into rural Nigeria and then talk about I'm going to develop creativity in your child, and so they'll say, just teach him enough to get a job the day he gets out of school. So, how do you make the change? So first thought that comes to your mind is, okay, it's the children who will make the change, the students will make the change. They won't. I'll tell you how you can stop them from making that change. Take them when they're 6 years old, okay, and brainwash the hell out of them so that they'll never make any change. It's very easy to do. It takes only 2 years to do that. So they won't be able to make the change. The parents don't want the change. The government's pretty much happy because the government's made a curriculum. Who can make the change? I believe that there is only one set of really diminutive people in this world who can make the change. It's the elementary school teacher. And she has to do this very quietly. She has to do this between the ages of 2.5 and 10. So that by 11, it's no longer possible to change the child back to the multiplication tables. How do you do that is what I've been working for the last 14 years now. And it's the simplest possible method. Leave them alone. It wouldn't have worked in any other age, leaving them alone, not to the extent it does today. And that's because of connectivity and the internet. So you leave them alone.